Hey, hello everybody. How are we doing today? Ricardo Wilkins here, and you are here for another cap for Copilot, Copilot adoption practices. So glad you could make it. If you're out in LinkedIn land, or if you're watching on demand, if you are here live, feel free to hit me up with a note to say hi, where you're joining from, all that good stuff. Trying my best to check the comments. Um, but again, good to see you. We're here weekly to talk about all things Copilot, collaboration, and of course, what are the best practices for using tools like Copilot. If you saw the notice on LinkedIn, I had titled it something to the effect of OneNote's taking my job, just from the sense of I thought I'd talk about the OneNote Copilot relationship, as well as teams and intelligent recap, I should say. So I'll kind of explain it as I kind of go through this, but obviously that was just a tongue-in-cheek comment. But these tools are helping to eliminate some mundane tasks that I would normally have done in the past without these tools, and that's what it's all about, right? So let's take a look at what I was talking about, and you tell me if my job is in jeopardy. Um, so let me start over here in Teams, and I think we've looked at this before. This is a recap of a meeting, and we've got our meeting notes here. So these days, I don't know about you, I'm in a lot of meetings, and most of them are recorded. And these days, that recording is happening not so much because people are trying to watch the recording after, although that certainly is happening too. But it's because I think people are catching on that, hey, if I record or at least transcribe this meeting, AI is going to take care of notes for me. I don't have to be as uh, into note taking for myself as I would normally need to be. And so people like myself are starting to rely on this summary for their notes. And so, I mean, as you can see here, this was I don't know, 3-4 minute meeting between, I created this content here, but we got notes here, lots of notes for a 5-minute meeting. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of notes, and even some follow-up tasks here. Um, and so if you're like me, whether it's uh, today or in the past, I mean, a lot of times OneNote is where we might take our notes in a meeting, and how we typically do that. Let me see if I can find another. There we go. This project collaboration meeting. So the meeting starts. We come into OneNote. In fact, let me make a change here so you can see that a little better. We come into OneNote. We go to our meeting details. Not everybody uses this, or maybe knows it's there, but meeting details is where we can see all the meetings for the day. When we click on it, OneNote does the work for us of titling the page, link to the Outlook item, who the participants and whatnot were, and then we're ready to go with a blank area for our notes, which is super useful. And this is, it's been there for many, many years, right? And that's how we would do it. And so your typical meeting, I would start to take my own personal notes here. All is well with that. But let me find another one here. I think it's on this one. So that's your typical one. If I go to another page and I fire up this meeting, well, actually, I would fire up the meeting. This is what I'd get. But after the meeting, when the recording's done and the transcription and all that is in, Teams Premium and Intelligent Recap starts to create this meeting summary and all of these assets, the recording, the tasks, things like that. even keeping track of what presentations might have been shared or files shared in the meeting. And so, whereas this test 3 meeting would have normally looked like this with just a few items here and ready for notes, since this meeting has already occurred, we get to see what test 3 will look like, which is similar, except we get all of those AI components added here for us. Okay. And so if this was a, real meeting, I would have originally hit this and got that abbreviated version. I would have come here and actually hit refresh. And then, after the meeting's over and recording is rendered and all that good stuff, and got these additional pieces. So let me make it a little bigger here. So again, we're getting some of the same things, but we're getting the recording, a link to watch that. Link to Outlook participants, all that's good. But then the AI powered meeting summary and AI suggestions. So if I blow this out, what I'm finding is this, in many ways, I'm done with what I really would want to do. Usually this is a page full of my own notes here below the notes area, but this will get it done, pretty well also. So sometimes I may leave this page and just leave these notes expanded for when I come back. But of course, this is my page to do what I want, so I can go through these notes. I might want to highlight some things here. 70% of blah blah blah. I might want to highlight that. I might want to start taking notes and making some things, I don't know, different color. So again, I didn't type up the notes, but they're notes nonetheless that I can still use, to my benefit. If, for instance, maybe this data pipeline, note here, I may want to expand that out, but maybe I want to add something more here of my own. This was an important, let me make this a little bigger for you. Oops. This is an important part of the meeting. Maybe highlight that, right? So I don't have to stick with the notes that, as they were given. I can put my own stuff in here. Maybe I need to add an Outlook task right there. So the point I'm making here is AI took the notes for me. OneNote placed the notes in my notes page the way I'm used to. And then I can continue to work from that. Because one thing I'm finding with these meeting summaries that AI is creating, I might have taken the same kind of note, but a lot of times AI says it more elegantly. Mine would have been some abbreviated wording. If I was using my pen, it'd be some chicken scratch, but to have these full sentences, bullets, paragraphs is nice. I might continue doing stuff here. Maybe from this note, I might, want to make another note out here for something. Again, continue to keep going with that. So I can do whatever I need to do here. Images, things like that. What this particular meeting isn't showing is there were no files shared, but I would have gotten that as well, a little expandable area for any files that were shared, which again would have been useful here, to be able to click on that, open that up and see that as well. So taking my old school approach of using OneNote for my notes, but letting the notes be written by my friendly assistant, and then expanding on those notes or editing those notes as I see fit. I think at this point, if I were to refresh again, I might get some of my stuff blown away here. So I would want to wait till it's all created on the back end, get that one good refresh to give me my AI powered notes. And then from here on, I at least if it was me, I'll own it from here. But it doesn't stop there because, as we know, we have Copilot in OneNote. So I could get additional summaries here. I mean, that's a pretty good summary. I don't think I need another one here. But and even here, I've got some tasks. But if by chance there weren't any tasks in here, this is where I could say over in OneNote, are there any follow-up tasks for me from this meeting? Let's try this, see what this gives us. Kind of doing this on the fly. So it's looking things over. And it's got some suggestions. I suspect they might be similar to, well, they're a little different. I thought they might be similar to the already suggested tasks, but they're a little different. So investigate, resolve some issues, et cetera, et cetera. So I am getting some additional value out of the sidecar for Copilot, asking it about the notes that it's able to read over. In fact, the more of my own notes that I would add here, those things would also be included in its suggestions. So if I, for whatever reason, added a whole paragraph here of some things that AI didn't pick up, once I asked for follow-up, it would include my thoughts as well, right? Anything I want to add here, if I'm copying and pasting something maybe from the chat in here, all of that would be fair game for this additional question of follow-up tasks. So just taking a look here, and it's kind of real-time review. Okay, so one of these says to prepare for the upcoming client demo, ensuring all critical issues are resolved and the environment is stable. So on that one, and so you see how these are numbered 1 through 7. Number 4, I think is interesting, and I think I do want to get working on that follow-up task, so I can continue to have a conversation about this page. And I want to say for number 4, draft an email to my team for this one. That's a kind of a basic sentence, but I'm going to see how this works. Right. So I said for number 4, again, I'm assuming Copilot knows what number 4 is up here. It wrote it. I'm assuming that. Draft an email to my team for this one. That's a really poor prompt, but I want to see if it works. So boom, it said sure, and it did. So number 4 was about preparing for the upcoming client demo, and here in its draft, we can see that it says, as we prepare for the upcoming client demo. So it knew what number 4 it was, and it wrote it up. So again, this is why OneNote's taking my job. I don't have to take notes. The follow-up emails I don't have to write. I'm like, what am I bringing to the table? But let's take this though. Let's see. So it wrote all this stuff up. Since I'm in OneNote here, I am gonna come over. I'm gonna just copy it. Control C. I'm going over to my email and put that right in there. I mean, it looks pretty good. And I do need to take out the subject line. Oops. Let's see. And I should put this up here. And I think I messed up my copy. Oh yeah, I messed up my copy paste. Control that. And Control V. Something's up. Trying to figure out what am I doing wrong here. Okay, something's up with my pasting there. But again, this email's ready. I would send it to whoever, and that would be one task, done, right? Again, all from having Copilot review what's going on. Here's draft a contingency plan in case of major issues during the client demo. For that contingency plan, I'm going to say for number 7, I want this to be a PowerPoint. create an outline for me. See what that does. I'm assuming it's going to know what number 7 is, which it does. So my task was to create a contingency plan. That's supposed to take me like another hour, right? But I told Copilot to do it for me. It has built out a full presentation. I haven't read this closely enough, but I would assume it's drawing from things from this meeting, not just generic info. If I think I like this, I'm going to copy this and come over to PowerPoint, do a new presentation. I think I might be able to pop this in here. Let me see. It might not be, yeah. Yep, this is working. So my narrative builder is building out a whole thing based on what I put in there. Maybe I want to move risk mitigation up a little bit. Let's generate some slides. Okay. Again, I should still be drafting that email, let alone already into my PowerPoint building. But Copilot's doing the work for me here. So now it's making all my slides. I think it's going to make them look pretty here in a sec. Putting all my stuff in there. Again, all from those meeting notes that I didn't even have to write. So it's doing its thing. And its pictures are in there. Lots of good stuff. Of course, I would come in here and start, making changes wherever needed. Maybe I don't like the look of this entirely. Let's make it maybe look a little more like that. Getting all of this work done. This might be good to go. This could be ready to present in the team meeting, or ready to send, send the link to, team members. But we're good there. We got PowerPoint to do that for us. So of the 7 things it suggested, I potentially did 2 of them in the span of, I don't know, has it been 10 minutes or something? So I'm just knocking these things off my list. So again, a lot of work being done for me here. Again, I would certainly have to review that email draft. I'd certainly review the PowerPoint, but it could be that it's mostly, what I want. And mostly good is it's pretty good. It's going to save me a lot of time, as opposed to starting from a blank email, staring at that, wondering what to say first, or starting from a blank PowerPoint, wondering what to do first. Okay. So that's really what I was getting at here. And I could probably keep going with some of these other ones. In fact, investigate and resolve data. Well, that one, not so much. I was thinking there might be something in here that I needed to actually research online, or maybe with data in the in my organization. So obviously I could have go over to Copilot and have it do that research for me as well. And then, of course, it's even suggesting other things based on what it's read of these notes. So it's saying question I should ask is, what's some potential risks I should consider? So it's, again, reading these notes and giving me those things as well. So not only is it giving me the answers, it's actually telling me what questions I should be asking, which is pretty cool. In fact, hopefully you've noticed that even in your meeting, when you're in a Teams meeting, you've got Copilot open, maybe you joined late and you opened it to get a recap of what you missed. A great question to ask, especially if you're late, is what question should I be asking at this point, to kind of give you an idea of, the context of the conversation and what would be a good question at this point in time. So it's also suggesting questions here as well, and suggesting answers. How can we address the security vulnerabilities? Well, it's got some ideas for that, right? And in fact, let me take a look at these suggestions here. Where are they getting them from? So let's click there. Oh, okay. So they're Okay, they're referencing different parts of the notes. You kind of show where that particular suggestion is coming from. So good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. So yeah, so that's pretty good stuff. All right, taking those notes. If you've already been comfortable using OneNote for your notes, can be even more comfortable now as you're automatically bringing in meeting summaries and then getting work done on those summaries right here in the sidebar as well. Of course, we could have popped any of that stuff over here to be a part of our notes, which can be very useful if this note page is one that is actually shared with a team. This could just be notes for you, but if it's notes shared with a team, then all of this work you're doing here, starting to place that over here for someone else to read, could be pretty useful as well. So that's good stuff. So whether it's LinkedIn comments or YouTube comments, if any of this is resonating with you and how you work, let me know. If you have other ideas for how, you work in OneNote with Copilot and meeting summaries and things like that, I'd love to hear that too. Let's make it a community and share our thoughts and ideas about this stuff. But yeah, I thought that was interesting use of Copilot and a potential best practice or an adoption practice to consider. So I don't see any questions in the comments area. So cool. I think we're good. Again, we're here weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, depending on schedules, but we're here, probably be here next week. But if there's ever a question, just check aka.ms/cap for Copilot. Always keep that up to date with the date of the next session, link to the LinkedIn Live area, and then eventually the link to when it's published on YouTube. So if you're joining live, feel free to check this out again in either one of those spots. Thanks in the comments for the kudos there. Appreciate that. Glad it was helpful. And yeah, we'll see you next time. And reach out if you have any questions. Put them in the comments. Let's get a dialogue going. So I'll see you next time.